Welcome to my channel, guys. I just wanted to inform you that this is my first video where I use my real voice, so I hope it doesn't bother you. It will be also nice if you leave a like or subscribe, whatever you want. Anyways, let's don't talk too much and start right away. After I logged into my new world, I customized my character and then I went on to choose perks. I went for agility, vitality, last but not least, strength. We move on to the occupations, and there I went for veteran just because he has a gun. And now the real challenge begins. When I spawned, I lowered the binds so the zombies can't see me. Then I needed to make my way out of the house because the zombies are everywhere and they are gonna get me. I ran out of the house and headed to the nearest vehicle, but there was none. No vehicle nearby, and all of a sudden I was attacked by a zombie. But because I choose veteran and I have a gun, I just shot him. Then I spotted a vehicle at the gas station. I ran as quickly as I could. Luckily, I made my way to the vehicle, but I didn't realize that it had no gas, so I hotwired it without knowing that it can't drive. So then I got trapped. First, I tried to kill the zombies, which was, not successful. I thought it would be the end, but so I got out of the car and went into the van. And at least I could hotwire it and it could drive. Of course the engine smoked, but it was something. As you can see here, there were a lot of zombies and they tried to eat me, but of course I ran them over. I just wanted actually to clean the station so I can search for food or other items. I thought I was in safety, but unfortunately I got stuck. But that just got me into more problems, so all the zombies surrounded me. I tried to kill the zombie on my right side, but as you can see here, it just was impossible. Okay, I'm not Mike Tyson, of course, but I tried. At least I tried. So then, again, I made my way out of the vehicle. I ran to a truck. The truck worked, so I just drove away and searched for shelter, but of course it got nighttime and I was very confused. I didn't know where to search shelter because all the roads, everything is crowded by zombies, so it is just really hard. I was driving somewhere without knowing where I'm heading. I have found another gas station. I didn't know what I have lost there, so yeah, I got stuck again. Without hesitating, I jumped out of the truck and went to the nearest vehicle, hotwired it, and guess what? I got stuck again. Luck was just not on my side. Did the same as always. I exited the vehicle and then I got hit multiple times and was low on health. But because I'm the main character, I of course can do everything. And this time I was really careful. Just forget it. By the way, I also choose some perks, and for some reason I skipped some hours, but I don't really know why I did that. It is what it is, okay? Anyway, after some driving, I arrived at a mail station, or how do you call it on English? I also checked if there were any zombies, so I was careful. And to my surprise, there were no zombies, so this was my new shelter. When I entered the building, I immediately blocked off the entrance. Then I have found a key from one of those trucks. In the other mail locker was no useful stuff. And of course, I also closed the binds. Afterwards, I moved the office counter to the entrance and then placed the newspaper rack on it. So, security. Then I continued my search and found some lighters, of course lockpicks, which was really good. And some batteries, which will be very useful for my phone. The bathroom had actually no useful stuff. And as you can see here, we have also no water supply, which means that we need to get our water from somewhere. I also realized that I had absolutely no food, so I threw away those food leftovers and I made my way outside, so we will be on a journey to the farm. For this, I took one of those mail trucks. And on the way, I stumbled across a small house. I was curious to see what it had inside. And as you can see here, I got some batteries and some bandages with a car key and some antibiotics. And that car outside was in good condition, but I left it there. Next, I made my way to the farm, and it wasn't actually that far away. And as you can see here, we arrived, but I actually don't care about the barn. I just need the garage. First, I hotwired the pickup. I checked the car, and it's actually in a good condition. And most importantly, an axe, which has a good damage. Also a hammer. Later on, I had my first meal. It was corn, as lunch. I took all the corn it had and went on to transport those water barrels. I placed those barrels into the pickup trunk. I also checked if it was really water, and 2 barrels were. So I got them on top of my pickup and made my way back home. Finally, I arrived at my base. Now we don't need to worry about the water. And I also wanted to move the black car out of the way. But for some reason, this happened. So the car wants to play games with me. Plan B, I guess. So I disengaged the handbrake and pushed the car out of the way. This car also reminds me of the Lada Niva. Pretty cool, right? I took those 2 water ballots and placed them inside my base. I also cleaned up the whole mess, so now our base is tidy. And I also blocked off the black door. My next step was to build a utility cabinet, and for that I needed some wood scrap. For this I destroyed a picture and got enough, so I placed it and stored my items there. Therefore zombies won't spy nearby, so it's more secure. I also destroyed this shelf but got nothing out of it. Later I decided to do some workouts. I chose jumping jacks because it upgrades your agility and vitality, not only the strength. I got bored pretty quick, so I went outside, and actually I didn't want to give up, so I tried again to start the car, but well, yeah, wow. Of course I gave up and decided to take one of those mail trucks and headed to the fire station. And that fire department is actually in downtown, so we will get attacked by a lot of zombies, but I planned everything, so Actually, it should be like butter. As I arrived, of course, I got attacked by zombies, but I ran them over and destroyed the garage and got inside. I ran to the ambulance, hotwired it, and pressed the gas. And the ambulance will actually be a place to sleep, but only not sleep, actually also for car parts, for spare parts. Finally, I arrived and took a nap. It was really good. And started working out again. And I must say, the second day was very productive. We did many things. And the next day will be even more interesting, maybe. And the reason why we have still power is because we have a backup generator on top of the roof. And at least that thing eats gas. It was also time to go outside and loot some buildings. Of course, I was driving like Schumacher with no problems. First, I drove to the veterinarian, but of course the zombies wanted to get me. They're everywhere. So I drove back and headed to a small house. Oops. I drove to that house and started looting. And of course there were no zombies nearby, so lucky for me. And I was also able to find some ammo. I got also some food and other useful stuff which will come in handy. I also looted the garage, but there was no special stuff except for the car battery. Anyway, an idea came to my mind. We have the ability to loot zombies, so I can run them over and get their clothing. And this was the thing I did for some couple of minutes. But they all were, let's say, naked, okay? They had t-shirts, jeans, boots. But what is that? I also have those things, but I need jackets. But I got so lucky that I've actually found a SWAT officer. So I killed the zombie and, well, I got a vest and a helmet. Pretty cool things. I got back at my base and stored my items, but for some reason a zombie spawned and I killed it with no problems. Then I got back to the black car and checked the engine and, well, it's broken. And out of nowhere another zombie came. I also smashed it. I also found some newspaper boxes, but got ambushed by a zombie, so he learned his lesson. The zombie made a deep wound, but I healed it. I had also enough materials to build a workbench, and now I can craft things. Later I made a trip to another house with a garage. There were also no zombies, well, almost. So I started looting, and actually I've also found a repair table, and this allows me to repair my tools so they don't break, guns, whatever. I have also found 2 ATVs, but I won't drive them, I will just use it for parts. I finished looting the garage and went over to the house. There I found some food and also a washing machine, but because we don't have electricity and water supply, that means that we can wash our clothing. So we need to wash them by hand. It also had a sweater, so it won't get cold. After that, I drove to another house. At first it looked innocent, but when I started looting, I got jumped by zombies. Then I was driving through the field and just look at that zombies, they're everywhere. Helpless pig. I tried to help it, but I killed it. I'm a murderer. At least I got some pork and bacon. Just look at the face of the pig. A gruesome death. Now we are at the barn. And here I also searched for some useful stuff. And I actually have found a weapon case. And there was a N1903. Wow. I continued looting and I actually got a lot of materials. When I was driving back, I spotted a cow and
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to.
I definitely need to change the tires. Before I went home, I disassembled some fences and finally I'm at my house. Then I had dinner. I also found this globe and looks nice. Yeah. I stored my items and because it's night, I did some workouts. And I did all this until morning and I got a little too freaky, so I drove to downtown because I wanted to steal the gas generator just in case something happens. We don't know. So when I arrived at the gas station, I immediately broke the window and quickly got my gas generator on top of my trunk. To be honest, this was actually lucky that I faced no zombies. And I drove back home safely.
Тормози, мать твою! Дура!
Yep, don't trust me. Got back home, placed my generator somewhere, and decided to check the generator on the roof. For this, I used the truck that I had and was able to climb on the roof. And it had 1.2 liters left. So I took some gas out of the truck and poured it into the generator. Now it has 8.0 liters. Better. And this time I wanted to search some weapons and decided to go to the survivor's shelter, but I regretted it. Just look at that, they keep coming. A massive catastrophe. It's horrible. And for no reason I decided to go to the restaurant, but looted the house, not the restaurant itself. Because on the first floor there is a restaurant, and on the second floor there is a flat, yep, where people live. It also had a weapon case, but sadly there was nothing. I also have found some ammo, which is nice. And why are there so many zombies? What? Since I need to build or disassemble cars, I need better tools, so we are at the tool shop. I tried to get inside through the main entrance, but it was a bad idea, so I just used the back door and got inside. I collected almost everything and got all the tools I need. And finally we can drive back home. It was very dangerous, but I survived. Okay, but now I have other problems. My clothes are very dirty, so I need to clean them. But I don't have a washing machine, so I just filled the sink with water and cleaned it. And I also have discovered a bug where you can refill the sink even though you don't have water supply. So here you can see I have just some water there and I can refill it with no problems. I also have found this portable cot at the tool shop. Now I can sleep safely with sweet dreams, I guess then. Day 5, I guess. That was good. Since it's just 2 at the morning, I did workouts until 6 and then I made my way outside. This time I'm driving to the cave because it has a hiking backpack and a hiking backpack allows me to carry more items. I need to mention that there's also a heater that we can use if it really gets cold. After some days it will get like in Siberia, maybe, we don't know. Finally I found a path which leads to the cave. There's also a motorhome nearby, so I'll also take it. And there we are at the cave. First I picked up a pickaxe, then the hiking backpack, a lantern, and last but not least, the heater. And I placed the heater on the hood because I couldn't place it inside. I also collected a ton of wood and finally got to the motorhome. I also checked the house but found nothing special. I tried to turn it on but the engine was completely broken. So we need to find another one. I will drive to another location and I think that will work. That one should work. Then I got home and wanted to place the heater, but for some reason it was levitating, so I searched for a good spot, but eventually I just placed it somewhere. We actually even don't need one because we have radiators that can warm us. I also have the option to build one, but it's just too expensive for me. And the same goes for the gas generator. And in this game I think there are 4 different locations. We have already seen one, but I think it's broken, so I won't take it. And what about this one? Well, again, then we'll drive to the next one. And let's hope that it can start and drive. And now comes the moment of truth. And yep, it can. Okay, nice. This thing will come in handy because we need to fry and make food. Now I arrived and parked my motorhome. I also have found a car filler and I installed it directly. I also took some parts that I already had and replaced them. Sadly I can't use the stove because I don't have a pan or a cooking pot. Anyways, we need to move on, so I drove again to that house. And this time we need to collect some parts for our vehicles. I managed to take those ATVs apart and got many parts. And I also repaired the chassis of my pickup. I drove back home and when I got there, I decided to repair the Niva. So I took some broken parts, placed them, and
Great success.
I can't believe it took me 70 attempts. Next, I moved those vehicles out of the way and it looks much better. And now we have come to the end, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And this is just the first part. I'll drop a second one, of course. Yeah, I wish you the best and see ya.